Access Health Health Plans Benefit and Qualifications Advisory Committee meeting. And remind everybody to please state your name before you talk, at least the first couple of times, so that we know who you are. And with that, this is Grant Ritter, chair of the committee. So to begin, could I have a roll call?
Before we do that, Mr. Chair, I would like to just mention that this meeting is being recorded for minute taking purposes, as well as for posting of the recording of the proceedings on the agency's website. This meeting is also being live streamed on the Access Health CT website. Roll call for attendance. Grant Ritter, Chair.
Yes, here.
Sean King.
Here.
Mark Schaefer. Matthew Brockman.
Hi.
Thank you. Manisha Jutani. Tune Goen.
I'm on.
Thank you. Brandon Riff. And Paul Lombardo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Public comment, is there any?
We did not receive any public comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll move on. Next, if I could I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was on January 29th?
So moved, Sean.
Thank you. Second it?
Second, Matthew.
Thank you. Any comments or changes or edits to the minutes? If not, could we have a vote on accepting the minutes?
Grant Ritter.
Yes.
Sean King.
Yes.
Mark Schaefer. Matthew Brockman.
Yes.
Tune Goen.
Come on.
Brandon. Thank you. Brandon Riff. And Manisha Jutani. Thank you.
Okay. Well, okay. Could Kelly, would you like to take over and
Sure thing.
With the rest of the meeting?
Sure. Good afternoon. We don't need to go over the mission, vision, and values, but Julie, I'm actually just going to hand this meeting right over to Julie. But before I do so, from our last meeting, just as a follow-up, and I think it may have been Mark who asked for the information, but within this presentation, in the appendix, starting on slide 34, I have put together some slides that demonstrate over the last 5 years the plan changes that we have, or this group has recommended and the board has approved. So just we probably won't need to go over it during this meeting, but that information is in there for individuals to take a look at. We don't have any of the claim utilization data at this point, but just wanted to provide that and give a historical look back to 5 years on all of the standard plans. And just as a side note, you'll note that there really aren't a lot of plan changes over the last 5 years or anything that was remarkable or significant to note. So with that said, I'll hand the meeting over to Julie from Wakely Consulting.
Before we do, could I just ask Susan a question? We're going to have a bunch of votes here. Do you want to vote one at a time, or should we hold off until the very end and then run through all the votes?
That is a good question, Grant. Thank you for asking. And I think we always think about this every year. What is the most efficient way? Right. I mean, I believe Marcin has them in the annotated after each plan. But it seems like if what we've done in the past is if the committee has consensus on each one, we move through them all and then just move through the votes at the end. I think
that would
that's
be more
probably
efficient.
Yeah, yes. I thank you. I think that's easier. And just to note, I really appreciate Kelly pulling all that information together for the committee to look at if they want in the appendix. And if you look, as Kelly mentioned, there really weren't many changes. The only changes really, as Grant has noted at meetings, really have been primarily to the maximum out of pocket and the deductibles. And then we've, where we could, we've made changes to move benefits before the deductible if we're able to do that. And then we also had changes for plan year 2022, I believe it was, when the diabetes caps went into place in state law. So we had to make changes to the plans to make sure that everything complied. But we haven't, and I think what Mark was looking at is, like, did we do what's proposed here, increase a copay by $5, and did that change consumer behavior? And we really haven't done that by and large, if you look at it. So those copays have really been pretty steady along several years. Thanks.
Okay, well then let's go on. So just as a refresher from the last meeting, the top box lists the standard plan designs that are still under review by this committee. So for all plans except the 87% CSR, we have plan options to present that comply with all mental health parity rules, as well as federal actuarial value metal range rule requirements. And so for this round, we went back with feedback from the last meeting and created revised options looking at scenarios that focus more on changes to the generic and preferred brand drug copays. We did take into consideration that the primary care copays were consistent across all plans that we were proposing. And then the result also was that we were attempting to try to push the final actuarial values within that metal range up to the higher level. In other words, making them slightly richer than what you had seen or observed before. And additionally, in the bottom box, at the last meeting, we did finalize and approve the 2026 Bronze HSA plan design, which is the current 2025 plan. So if we want to go ahead and look at the gold options. So as I did note on the previous slide, actually, we don't need to make changes to the gold plan. The current 2025 plan meets all requirements now that we've also addressed the mental health parity issue that was at issue in the original presentation. But we do have options 4 and options 5, which make changes that would also be kind of consistent with things that will be happening or need to happen on the silver and bronze options. So looking at option 4 was increasing the deductible and the maximum out-of-pocket, with also increases in the preferred brand and preferred brand copay for option 4. And then option 5, the only change is to increase the generic copay from $5 to $10. So you can see in the bottom row, when you look at the actuarial value ranges as calculated by the issuers, they're just in the middle of, they're like at the 80.5 to 80.7 range. So a little bit lower than where the current 2025 plan sits under the 2026 calculator at 81.4 to 81.5%.
Okay. Any opinions on this? My own opinion is, Julia, hold on to this for next year, because we'll probably be revisiting option 4 next year.
But, correct, with the trend updates or data updates.
Exactly. I personally don't see any reason to change the gold plan. It fits, and it's like, if it isn't broken, don't mess with it. So, any other opinions?
I agree with that.
I'll also agree.
Okay, sounds good. So that is the current plan. Do we just hold off on that and vote on it at the end if we do a group vote? Yeah.
Then let's go ahead and look at the silver standard plan. This plan does require changes, and so we proposed an out-of-pocket increase in option 4 to $9,400. from the $9,100, an increase in the primary care copay from $40 to $45, and then changes in the preferred brand and non-preferred brand copays to $50 and $75. In option 5, we were able to keep the deductible and the out-of-pocket maximums unchanged by changing both the generic preferred and non-preferred copays on the drug and the pharmacy options by increasing them by $5 across the board. So, and they will, and you can see too as well, they're running at an actuarial value of 71.2 to 71.6%. So almost to the 72% upper limit, but not quite. So it's still allowing for room when adjustments will likely occur next year.
Does anybody want to offer a choice here? We can't keep the original plan because it's out of scope or out of AV range. But what do other people think?
Hey, I liked option 4. I like keeping the generic at 10 just because clearly people use it more. And so it's a little bit of an affordability mechanism in my mind. But my preference is for 4.
Yeah. And Sean, any other?
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, I'll lean towards 4. I mean, generally, I don't like increasing the deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums because I think it just continues to shift costs onto the people who need, who are the sickest. But this one kind of strikes I think, a reasonable balance there. Keeping the generic cost share at 10 and keeping the deductible the same. So I would support 4.
Okay. I think we're gonna decide on 4. Sounds like. So let's go with option 4, and then because that's the silver plan, we sort of probably want to stay consistent with the same sorts of drug copays for all the other, if possible. I don't know exactly what happens with the 73, the 87, and the 94.
Yes, if you advance the next slide, for the 73%, obviously the option 4 will align with the option 4 for the standard plan, and same with the option 5.
Yeah. So option 4 for the 73. What about the 87? Or we're not sure about the 87 yet, or?
Right. So the 87, one issuer did not pass on the actuarial value test. They did propose this alternate option, but I haven't been able to go back and test with other issuers. So I show it here as the alternate one to be still tested and reviewed, but seeing if there is any other feedback on additional options or things to look at when I submit other options for the plans to review. But otherwise, we won't be able to vote on this one or review it, unfortunately, at this time.
Right. Do we need to have a special meeting for that, or do we just offer it to the board to meet to agree on? I mean,
I think we can, I think we'll schedule, and Kelly, I don't know if we already had something on hold for February. I think we'll just schedule another meeting in February once Julie can get the committee meeting just for that, just to get that taken care of. Once we get all the carrier, a quickie. Yes, thank you. Yeah, because we've got the board meeting scheduled for March 6th. The goal is to get this wrapped up as early as we can so that we can get the solicitation out to give the carriers plenty of time.
Okay. Yeah, so I was going to mention that towards the end, that I've already started to look at dates possibly for next week. late next week to hopefully be able to continue the conversation for the 87 plan, and if there's any other plans that we need to discuss.
Great.
Fingers crossed, it's just the one.
So I guess advancing on to the 94% plan, only one option is really shown. It's a fairly rich plan. So, you know.
Yep. Okay, so that seems to be the way we want it to go based on prior. You're raising the out-of-pocket maximum a little bit in the primary care.
Yeah, and we're also raising the primary care like we did to the standards design.
Yep.
So we can finalize that. And then the last one is the bronze plan, the non-HSA option. These are similar to what was presented last meeting. Because we recall that there wasn't really any questions about going back and reviewing these options. So, you know, they involve either option one, which is a combination of changing the primary care copay and the laboratory services, as well as the generic and preferred brand drug copays, or option two, which is strictly a deductible MOOP change. And then option three, which is a little bit lower deductible change with an offsetting primary care cost sharing increase, but holding the drug copays level.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it out there again. What do other people think about this? This is sort of a tough one, actually, because either we're going to raise the out-of-pocket and the deductible, unfortunately, pretty high, or we have to hit the drug plan pretty hard. So I don't know which is a better idea.
I think option three might be because we already have a goal plan where the PCP at 45, so we don't want to keep the PCP here at 40.
Nice,
and then also it has a lower deductible, and the drug design is also retained at the current level. So I think it makes sense with option three.
Well, certainly the argument of the primary care is certainly appropriate to have it at least as big as the other plans were. Yeah, I think three is a good compromise too. It's kind of like, you know, compromising, keeping the drug plan where it was, but raising the deductible and the primary care. So I'd certainly go along with three. Sean, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm okay with three.
I think I might prefer one a little bit, but I think three is a good compromise. So
yeah,
I can support that.
Okay, then. Is that it?
That is it. So I'll turn it back over to the Access Health team for the votes for the committee.
Yeah, so Grant, you should have the votes for each one on the annotated, so I guess we can just go through them.
Okay, you want to go through one at a time? Okay, so for
the
gold plan,
for Martin.
We were going to take, if I can remember, what was our choice? 4 or 5?
No,
I think the gold was stay the same, right?
Oh, stay the same.
Same.
All right.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Could we have, I guess we need a motion for each of these. Could we have a motion to accept the plan as it is?
So moved, Sean.
Thank you.
Second, two.
Okay. All in favor? I mean, roll call?
Is there discussion, Mr. Chair, on the motion before us?
Okay. Discussion? Hearing none. Can we have a roll call?
Yes. Grant Grader,
Yes.
Sean King,
Yes.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Tun Goen,
Yes.
Brandon Riff, and Manish Zutani. Thank you.
Okay. Motion carries. Next, for the silver plan, what should we take? I think we took 4 here.
That is correct.
Okay, so could I have a motion to advance option 4 to the full commit to the full board?
So moved,
Recommend the
Sean.
option 4. Okay, seconded.
Matthew.
Second.
Thank you, Matthew. Discussion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call vote? Sean?
Ron Grader,
Yes.
Sean King,
Yes.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Tun Goen,
Yes.
Brendan Riff, and Manish Zutani. Thank you.
Okay, 73. Okay, there again, we were going to go with option 4, right?
So moved. This is Sean.
Second. 2.
You? Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call vote on option 4 for the Silver 73?
Ron
plan?
Grader,
Yes.
Sean King,
Yes.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Tun Goen,
Yes.
Brendan Riff, and Manish Zutani. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we're going to skip the 87% plan and go on to the 94 plan. And there we have to, we have to move, we have to make some change. So could I hear a motion to accept option 2? Recommend it to the board?
So moved, Sean.
Thank you. Second?
Second. 2.
Any more discussion? Okay, could we have a roll call vote on that?
Ron Grader,
Yes.
Sean King,
Yes.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Tun Goen,
Yes.
Brendan Riff, and Manish Zutani. Thank you.
Great. And finally, for the bronze plan, I guess we decided on 3 at the very, as a compromise. Could I have a motion to accept 3, to recommend 3?
Motion.
2, thank you. Seconded,
I'll second, Sean.
Sean. Any more discussion? It's hateful because it's got such high deductibles. I really don't like it at all. Anyways, roll call vote.
Ron Grader,
Yes.
Sean King,
Yes.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Tun Goen,
Yes.
Brendan Riff, and Manish Zutani.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank
Thank you. That was really efficient, and we can certainly move these things to the board now and let them look at them also. So. I guess, is that it?
I guess,
anything-
yes, that is it. Julie will
is it.
work with
That
the
is the-
carriers on the options for the 87%
Mhm.
plan, and hopefully we can turn that around quickly so that we can schedule the next meeting and get that taken care of for the board recommendations. Thank you.
Great, okay. Thanks, everyone. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Sean.
Sean, second?
Second. 2.
Roll call?
Ron Grader,
Yes.
Sean King,
Yes.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Tun Goen,
Yes.
Brendan Riff, and Manish Zutani. Thank you.
Okay, great job, everyone. Thanks a lot, and we'll be in touch as soon as we
All
can
right.
be.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye now.